Hi, and welcome to our weekly House Church Shepherd's Bible Study. The theme for May is Jesus' early ministry. The story for May 13th is John the Baptist and Jesus' baptism. John was a son of priests Zechariah and Elizabeth, who was a cousin of Mary, Jesus' mother. When Mary heard the good news about Jesus from the angels, she shared the joy with Elizabeth, who was also pregnant. Both ladies praised the Lord together for their son, who would have a special purpose in the kingdom of God. For John, the special purpose would be to prepare the people for the coming of the Messiah, and for Jesus. He was the Messiah. This week's Bible passage is from Luke chapter 1, verse 1 through 25, verse 57 through 80, chapter 3, verse 1 through 22, John chapter 1, verse 19 through 37, Matt chapter 3, verse 13 through 17. Our memory verse is from John chapter 13, verse 15. I have given you an example that you also should do, just as I have done for you. The angel Gabriel brought amazing news to Zechariah. The angel Gabriel appeared to Zechariah and said, "Your prayer has been heard. Your wife will have a son. You will name him John. He'll be the one to prepare the people for the coming of the Messiah." Zechariah doubted God because his wife was too old. As a result, he was not able to speak. Elizabeth became pregnant, just as the Lord had promised. A boy was born, and Zechariah, still unable to speak, used a writing tablet to write his son's name, John. Suddenly, after being unable to speak for 9 months, Zechariah spoke. He praised God for all of his blessings. John began his ministry. He baptized Jesus. John grew up to be a man who loved and obeyed God. He began his ministry by preaching and baptizing at the Jordan River. John said to people, "The Messiah is greater than me. I am not worthy to even tie his sandals." One day, Jesus came to the Jordan River, seeking to be baptized by John. "But you should baptize me," John said to Jesus. Jesus insisted, so John baptized Jesus. As Jesus was coming out of water, the heaven opened and the Spirit of God, like a dove, descending on Jesus. Then the voice of heaven said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased." John became known as John the Baptist. God blessed John with the opportunity to baptize Jesus. This was a part of God's plan for John's life. John was faithful and followed God's plan. John became known as John the Baptist. He continued to preach and baptize many people. Jesus' baptism marked the beginning of Jesus' early ministry. Please share the key points with the children in your house church. Sharing. Faithfulness to God's plan for your life is the key to God's blessings. John chose to follow God's plan for his life. Now, what will you choose?